What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be reacting to my predictions that I made before the clash on who I thought would make it. I did it just a few days ago, but I don't even remember who I picked, so this is going to be funny. I don't know why when I made it the audio didn't work at the beginning. Confusing.
23 drivers making it in. There are going to be 4 heats. The top 5 in each heat qualify in. The guys who don't qualify in.
So right here I'm explaining the format that ended up getting canceled.
First up, Ryan Blaney is an automatic lock to make it in because he won the championship last year, which
Alright, I'll let myself finish what I was saying.
means he automatically gets the provisional. But he has qualified both years through the heats as well.
Okay, so I didn't expect Ryan Blaney to have to use up the provisional. Because a lot of these other guys I was thinking of for the provisional. But him having to take it kind of messed up my whole thing. Alright, next driver.
Next up, I got Kyle Busch. He's finished top 3 both years in the Clash, and he's also qualified in through his heats both years. So, he's pretty likely.
Yep, Kyle Busch qualified in pretty easily. Ended up getting second again.
Also, he moved to RCR, and when he wasn't at RCR, the number 8 car won the heat too. So, he's locked in, I think. Or not locked in, but I think A-locked to make it. Now the other Kyle Larson. He's in a Hendrick car, so he has a pretty good shot of making it by default. He's finished 5th there He's finished 5th both years there, and qualified in through the heats. Plus, a 2nd place in last year's point standings means that as soon as Blaney qualifies in, he's...
Yep, Kyle Larson made it once again. Not very surprising. That's why I had him as a lock. I think he ended up finishing somewhere in the top 5. Not sure.
He's locked in. Next up, I got Martin Truex Jr. He won there last year and qualified in 2022. With him getting older and maybe thinking of retirement, that could be a distraction. But also, he's in a Joe Gibbs racing car, so I think he's pretty good. We'll make it in.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. He actually kind of scared Martin Truex Jr. fans by barely qualifying in, but he made it in, so got this one right.
Next, I got William Byron. He's in a Hendrick car, which has been good there the last 2 years, and he's finished top 10 both years after qualifying in through the heats. So I think he's pretty good. Also, he finished 3rd in state.
Yeah, William Byron qualified in. They said a stat during the race. Every single lap he's run at the Clash, he's been top 10. It's kind of crazy. That's why I have him as a lock. Or had him as a lock, I should say.
Endings last year, so he could get the provisional. For the final
Oh,
driver,
jeez.
I'm 100% confident we'll make it in, is Christopher Bell. He's qualified in both years. He's in a Joe Gibbs racing car, and he was having...
Okay, so Christopher Bell, I think he was either 2nd or 3rd in practice. I don't think anybody expected him to be like super duper slow in qualifying. I know he was one of those on the scuff tire strategy. And I remember hearing that other drivers were saying that the track was getting worse. So he didn't make it in. So that's already one I got wrong in my locks. These are supposed to be the easy ones.
a lot of fun last year. Also, once again, he finished 4th in the standings, so he could have the provisional. Next up, I got Ryan Preece. This one could be a little bit surprising, but last year in an SHR car, he led a ton of laps there before kind of getting bump and run by Mark.
Ryan Preece made it again. He didn't do as good as he did last year, or as good as I expected him to, but he made it, and that's what I was predicting. So, next guy.
Truex Jr., who would eventually go on to win the race. Also, he qualified in with a Rick Ware racing car in 2022. Next up, I got Tyler Reddick. 2022, when he was in the RCR car, he won his heat before his car broke under caution or something weird, the new next gen. And last year he almost finished top 5. So I think he's pretty good at this track and could make it in.
Yep, Tyler Reddick made it again. He was actually running pretty decent until I think it was he jumped to start or a lane violation or something maybe. Got sent to the back where he got spun out a few times.
Next up, we got Joey Logano, who won the race in 2022 and won the heat in 2022. It wasn't as great in 2023, but he still made it in through the heats. Finished sixth.
Yeah, Joey Logano made it pretty easily. Qualified second. Could have maybe won. He was up in top 3 all race. Then I think on the final restart, something with him and Gibbs, he ended up getting sent back. But he made it back up to 4th. Pretty good day.
16th, so I think he'll make it in again. This next one may be controversial, but I think Austin Dillon will make it in pretty easily. Just like Kyle Busch, he's finished in the top.
I thought Austin Dillon would make it in pretty easily. I don't know if I explained it or I might explain it in a second. He finished on the podium both years, and so I thought it'd be for sure. But he just didn't bring that speed this year. His teammate had the same speed as always, but he did not bring it.
3 both years and qualified in through the heats. And he's in RCR equipment, so I think he should make it. But he had such a terrible season last year that I don't know if that'll affect him negatively.
Maybe that's what affected him. I don't know.
He will still make it in, though. Next up is Chase Elliott. Some of you guys may think why I didn't put him in earlier, but he has not actually been as great in the Clash as his other teammates. Both years, he wasn't really like one of the best ones to make it in. Plus, he's never had a top 10 here. But I do.
Yeah, Chase Elliott qualified in again. Ran towards the back, and I think he had a steering problem about halfway through or something that ended his day. But he made it.
I think he will have a bounce-back season next year, and that will start with making the Clash. Denny Hamlin is
Here we go.
one who you might have thought I would have put in sooner, but with his shoulder surgery, and this is like a really tight course, we have to use your arms a lot to turn the car. And we don't know if he'll be back at 100%. I could see him maybe trying to take it kind of easy for the Daytona 500.
He was definitely back to 100%. He qualified on pole. Led almost the most laps and won the race. Pretty good performance. The new shoulder is working.
But I don't think that'll happen. I think he will qualify because he won his heat race last year and finished 9th. Next up, I got Denny Hamlin's team's driver, Bubba Wallace. He wasn't really that great in 2022, but last year he qualified in pretty easily and led a lot of laps before getting taken out. So I think he'll have some redemption this year. And
yeah, Bubba Wallace made it in again. He wasn't nearly as good as he was in 2023. He ran towards the back, got wrecked a few times. But he made it in.
Make it in again. Next, we're going from Denny Hamlin's teammate, basically, to his enemy, Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain didn't make it in the race in 2022, but that was before Trackhouse and him really started getting really good. And also last year, I never really remember seeing him towards the front, but he did finish 8th, and he definitely will move people out of the way to make it in. So
yeah, Ross Chastain did basically the same thing he did in 2023. He made it in and never really popped up. Except for that last lap when he walled Tyler Reddick.
I think Ross Chastain will make it. Next up, I got 2 SHR drivers, Chase Briscoe and Josh Berry. Chase Briscoe has qualified in pretty easily the last 2 years. In 2022, he broke a transaxle, I think it was, from 4th under caution, like Tyler Reddick I said earlier, and he finished 15th last year. Josh Berry's never done.
Okay, so for Chase Briscoe, he's qualified in pretty simple the last 2 years. This year, I think he was the last guy in. So, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was. As I thought it was going to be. But he did make it in. Barely.
The LA Clash.
I know Chase Briscoe fan 14 liked him getting in.
North Wilkesboro for the All-Star Open.
Shout out to him.
SHR is also really good at the short, flat ovals. So I'm thinking both of them will get in.
Yeah, Josh Berry did not make it in. I thought with his short track background, could be easy for him to get in, but I guess not.
Next up, I got Alex Bowman, who will be an interesting one. In 2022, he missed the race entirely, but in 2023, he made the race, qualified in easily, and finished 4th. I think since he's in a Hendrick car, and because of how good he did last year, I think he will make it this year again.
Yep, Alex Bowman made it in. I think I saw he had a really good lap in that qualifying session, qualified towards the front. I don't think he stayed up there, but it was still a good showing.
Will make it
Okay,
this
never
year.
mind. I just went and checked. He ended up finishing
After
6th.
Bowman, I got Ty Gibbs.
Oh, yeah, good thing I put him in.
Fast in practice last year before I believe his car caught on fire during practice. He was able to qualify in a backup car though, but I don't know. I think at the end with all the extra laps and stuff, he ran out of fuel or something. Didn't finish well, so we don't really.
It's a good thing I put Ty Gibbs in. He led the most laps. Probably should have won that race. Did not have enough experience on some of the restarts and ended up getting taken 3 wide or something, which is really what cost him the race.
Know what would happen, but he would bump people out of the way to make it in. Next up, I got the 2 RFK cars with Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher.
Alright. Well, I'll wait to see what I said, actually.
Surprisingly, neither of them have ever made this race,
Yeah.
but they had a really good season last year and are going to carry a lot of momentum in. Plus, with one of them making the round of 8 and one of them making the round of 12, they could get the provisional if they need to, but I think they will qualify their way in. Next up, I got Daniel Suarez.
Okay, let's go back for a second. Alright. So, Brad Keselowski ended up making it in, and Chris Buescher did not. But Brad Keselowski, I heard on the broadcast they were saying he would need a miracle lap. And that's what happened on the last lap of that qualifying session for Brad. He made it in. I don't think he was that good during the race, though. Or, I don't think he was that good. I know he ended up finishing 8th. So I guess maybe he was good. I don't know. Kind of just showed up at the end when it mattered. But yeah, I got 1 right out of the 2.
I think they will qualify their way in. Next up, I got Daniel Suarez. He's qualified into this race both years and finished pretty mid. He finished 19th and 14th, I believe. He is in a Trackhouse car, however, meaning he should have enough speed to make it in.
Yeah, I thought Daniel Suarez was going to be pretty good, especially with the Mexico series. But I guess, I don't know if they got, maybe the rain canceled their practice or something. He didn't get as much experience as I thought he would, but, or not experience, practice. But yeah, he did not make it.
Last one up, I got Eric Jones. He's made this race both years with Legacy Motor Club as a Chevy team, but next year they're going to be going to Toyota. Moving to Toyota should help them a lot.
I thought this would help them, but it ended up being his Legacy Motor Club teammate, John Hunter Nemechek, who made it in. And Eric Jones did not make it in, so I was wrong about this one. But he has been when I was getting the stats for this, he was both years he was the last guy in Heat 4 to make it in, which I thought was kind of funny and fitting to put him in as the last pick.
And I think he will make the race again in 2024. So those are the 22 cars who I think will make it into the race, but there is still the provisional. Assuming these are the 22 cars that qualify in, Michael McDowell.
So as I said earlier, I did not expect Ryan Blaney, the champion, to get the provisional. But I guess I got Michael McDowell right for the wrong reason.
Will get the provisional and the 23rd spot to make it into the Clash. With a 15th place.
I'll take it though. Still counts.
Beating Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Last year, 27 cars got into the Clash. And assuming if they did do that again this year, these are the 4 cars who I think will make it in. AJ Allmendinger has made this race both years.
This was before the entry list came out when I made this video. So obviously AJ Allmendinger, he's made the race both years. I thought Colleague would for sure put him in. But Josh Williams with the sponsorship got in. To Josh Williams' credit, he did run really well in
But I
qualifying.
think people want to focus more on Xfinity next year. Austin Cindric didn't make it in 2022, but qualified in with the provisional in 2023.
Austin Cindric was really a no-show this weekend. Like, the only time I remember even seeing him remotely close to on the screen was when he was spinning out. Any other time, he was just slow. Was not even in the question to make it.
But he was pretty decent in both of his races, so I think he'll make it in if there were 27 cars. But I guess he didn't make it in. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who barely lost out on the provisional to Michael McDowell. If there were 27 cars, I think he would have qualified in. Or Michael
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. ended up making it in. So, I was close to getting him right.
McDowell would have qualified in, and he would have got the provisional. And Noah Gragson. SHR is so good at short tracks that I think even Noah Gragson could make it in.
I'm really surprised Noah Gragson made it in. Made me really happy as a Noah Gragson fan. I did not see it coming at all. He must have had a really good qualifying lap because once the race started, he ended up going like 3 or 4 laps down. But he still made it, so it's enough as a Noah Gragson fan for me.
Last year with Legacy Motor Club. And these are the last 9 people who I think won't make it into the Clash.
Assuming, since AJ Allmendinger wasn't in the race, I think my next pick to make it probably would have been Corey LaJoie. So, I don't know. Well, I guess I still would have had him out. But would have had him. He was definitely like my 5th thought after those 4.
Really solid both the 2 years.
Justin Haley was up there too.
I don't think it's likely that he'll make it in again. Daniel Hemrick, who's taking over Justin Haley's old car. So
Yeah, Justin Haley's surprisingly made it in with a Rick Ware racing car. Ran pretty good before something happened with his engine.
The 31's been good both years with Justin Haley, but no, we're not really sure if it's the car or the driver.
It was the
Hemrick's
driver,
never
I
even
think.
seen the Busch Clash, so I don't think he'll make it in. Zane Smith, I'm not really sure about because he's at Spire within a lot.
Zane Smith was really slow. Yeah, I think he was last overall. Really bad start for the new 71 car.
With Trackhouse. If his car is like a Trackhouse car, I think he has a chance of making it in. But if his car is like a Spire car, I don't think he'll make it in because he's never raced here before. Most of these other guys have never even raced here, or they're just in pretty mid equipment, so I don't think they'll make it in. So these are the 23 cars.
Alright, so how many did I get right? So, on the yellow column, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 right. 17 out of 23 right. Right, and then, because that was 17, and then Ricky Stenhouse is 18. Noah Gragson's 19, Justin Haley's 20, Todd Gilliland 21, John Hunter Nemechek 22, Corey LaJoie 23, yeah. So I got Christopher Bell, Austin Dillon, Josh Berry, Chris Buescher, Daniel Suarez, and Eric Jones wrong. They should have been over in the red box. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Noah Gragson, Justin Haley, Todd Gilliland, Corey LaJoie, and John Hunter Nemechek should have been over in the yellow box.
Who I think will make the Clash. Can't wait till the Busch Clash comes on February 4th to see if I'm right or not. Thank you guys for watching, and
Thank you guys for watching this reaction. What were you guys' picks to make the race? Did you get them right? Alright, see you in the next one. Bye.